Is I am audible at your end and the computer screen is shareable at your end. Please reply any one of you. Please reply any one of you. Yeah, I'm audible at your end. Speak any one of you.
Sir, yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Should we start the presentation now? Okay, let's we start the presentation. Lastly, we have started about the full wave rectifier with a center tap transformer. We have seen their working operation associated with the full wave rectifier, and we have started the analysis of a full wave rectifier with considering a number of parameters. First one, we have found out the DC current and the DC voltage, which are given as IDC is equal to 2 Im divided by pi. Similarly, a VDC of this is given as a 2 Vm divided by pi. Yes, and this expression VDC can be slightly rearranged in terms of IDC and the transformer resistance RF and the transformer resistance RS and the forward resistance RF of a diode, which is a VDC is equal to 2 Vm divided by pi. RMS current we have found out it's through a load which is given as a Im divided by root 2, and the RMS load voltage also we have found which is given as a Vf divided by root 2. Next, ripple factor we have found out which is a 0.48, which is a drastic improvement with respect to half wave rectifier, which is this one. R is equal to 0.48 drastic improvement. Next, we have started about the discussion of a full wave voltage regulation. The voltage regulation for a full wave is given as a no load minus full load divided by full load. For the full wave rectifier, we have found out a VDC as well as IDC, sorry, VDC at a full load voltage and VDC at a no load voltage. By plugging simply this one, we have found out a voltage regulation which is RS plus RF divided by RL into 100. This voltage regulation is the same as with a half wave rectifier. So there is no improvement considering the voltage regulation for a full wave rectifier. The efficiency of the full wave rectifier is given as a PDC divided by PAC, and we know that the power can be related in terms of a current and the load, which is the IDC into RL, and simply we plug the value of IDC, and PAC, it is the RMS current through a load into the resistance offered by that branch, which is the RS plus RF plus RL, and simply plug this one. So finally we will have the efficiency of the full wave rectifier is 8 divided by pi square into RL divided by RS plus RF plus RL. Yes. So if we consider that this RL is a very greater than this internal resistance of a transformer secondary and diode, then this RL is a very large as compared with this one. So finally the RL gets cancelled and we will have its efficiency of a full wave rectifier is a 0.81, which is a drastic improvement as compared with a half wave rectifier. So next, we want to go for, lastly, we have come up to this mark. The the transformer utilization factor. Yeah. So the transformer utilization factor we need to find for a full wave rectifier. For this purpose, we are using here a transformer is a center tap transformer. Okay. I request guys, one of the guys, Tembe, your speaker is on. Please make it mute. So for a full wave rectifier, we need to find the transformer utilization factor. The transformer utilization factor is given as by basic definition is a PDC divided by PAC rated. So as we are using here a transformer, yes, this one is the full wave circuit diagram, full wave rectifier. Yes, for this case we are using here a center tap transformer. This center tap transformer is having a CT. So this primary is related with the upper half of a secondary. This primary is also related with the lower half of a secondary. So we want to find out what is the TUF of this full wave rectifier. And for that purpose, we need to take what is the TUF offered by primary with respect to the secondary. As here it is half is get distributed, so we will take a averaging of these two parameters from a primary to the secondary. So the TUF of a primary plus TUF of a secondary divided by 2. So TUF of a full wave rectifier is found out by considering primary winding and secondary winding, which is given as TUF of a primary plus TUF of a secondary. Now we want to find this one value. Okay. So what is the TUF of a primary? So the primary is related with the secondary transformer. If you look at this section only, upper half of a positive section, it is just the same like as with the half wave rectifier circuit arrangement, where for half wave circuit we have it is nothing but a normal transformer. So for just like for secondary half of a section, the TUF with the primary is given as that to 2 times of a half wave rectifier, since here two upper half sections are used. So if we consider isolated TUF for secondary upper half of a secondary with the primary, lower half of a secondary with the primary, so it's a twice is a secondary with the primary. So you will have its a TUF is equal to TUF of a transform, TUF of a secondary of a half. So therefore, it's a half wave rectifier. We know that what is the TUF of a half wave rectifier already we have found out. Yes. So means we want to find out now here what is the TUF of a primary, and for that purpose, yes, TUF of a primary, sorry, TUF of primary is equal to 2 times TUF of secondary of a half wave rectifier. Now let's we need to find what is the TUF of a secondary for a full wave rectifier. So for a full wave rectifier, it is given as a secondary half is given as a PDC divided by PAC, and PAC can be given as a PAC rated can be given as a VRRMS into IDC. So we know that the PDC can be given as a IDC square into RL. So this is the expression you will have IDC square into RL. So similarly, so what is a VRMS and the IRMS considering the load? Sorry, considering the input. So the for VRMS and the IRMS are Vm divided by root 2 and Im divided by root 2 for a full wave rectifier. For a full wave rectifier, we know that the current will be flows during the positive half cycle of a input as well as a negative half cycle of a input of a transformer secondary. So entire cycle is applied to the load, or from the transformer entire current or voltage is flowing, one cycle is flowing. So therefore, what RMS value for the one cycle, which is start with 0 to pi and end at 0 to pi and pi to 2 pi. This is the entire cycle. Yes. Whereas for the half wave rectifier, voltage is available for a 0 to 2 pi duration, but current is flows only during the 0 to pi duration, not pi to 2 pi. But for this circuit, we will have it will be from 0 to pi, again pi to 2 pi. So entire one cycle will be a current will be flows applied by transformer secondary. So by considering a root mean square value expression, we have this one is a Vm divided by root 2 as well as a, and IRMS is also Im divided by root 2. So we know that the relation for the Vm in terms of Im is given as a Im into Rs plus Rf plus RL. So simply we have plugged the value of Vm. So here we have. So if you slightly rearrange this expression, or if we simplified this expression, you will have it will be a TUF of a secondary is equal to 8 divided by pi square into RL divided by Rs plus Rf plus RL. So if we consider that RL is a very greater than Rs plus internal resistance of a transformer secondary and the diode, so RL is a greater. So therefore finally you will have TUF of a secondary is equal to 8 divided by pi square into is equal to 0.812. This is a TUF of a secondary of a transformer of a full wave rectifier, transformer secondary. Already TUF of a primary we have found out it. What is the TUF of a primary? It is a 2 times of a TUF of a full wave rectifier. TUF of a TUF of a half wave rectifier. What is the TUF of a half wave rectifier? It's a, yes guys, it's a 0.287. So the half wave rectifier we have found it is a 28.7%, which is given as a 0.28 point. So it's a 2. Simply we will plug the value of a this primary is a 2 times of a TUF of a secondary, which is a 2 times 0.287 plus TUF of a secondary already we have found this is a 0.812. So if we divide this to if we add it and divide it, so you will have 0.693. So from the half wave from for full wave rectifier, the TUF is a 69%. Yes, TUF is a 69%. What about the half wave rectifier? Half wave rectifier is a 28.7%. So means again here a transformer is a better selection for a full wave rectifier. So here, since the current flowing through a 2/2 of a secondary side is the opposite direction, DC saturation of a transformer does not take place for this case. So means we can say that here for half wave full wave rectifier, TUF is a drastically improved and the current is flowing through a upper half of a transformer as well as the lower half of a transformer for entire cycle. So finally there is a DC saturation problem which was in the half wave rectifier is resolved in a full wave rectifier with a center tap transformer. Okay. Now peak inverse voltage. What is a peak inverse voltage? In the last lecture we have discussed about that and the ripple frequency. What is a peak inverse voltage? It's a maximum reverse voltage that can be applied during the positive half cycle. So since we are considering that here, if we consider that this one, if we consider that this one is a circuit diagram, yes, for this case, during the positive half cycle, diode D1 is a conducting and diode D2 is a non-conducting. Diode D2 is off. So for the off, when the diode is off, for that case, this terminal internally diode is open. So this track is open. So if this track is open, how much voltage is available at this point? That is a maximum voltage applied by transformer secondary. So for during the positive half cycle, yes, we take it this one. during the positive half cycle, what is here? This one is a positive. This is a positive. Yeah. And this is a negative. Similarly, this positive and this is also negative. So during the positive half cycle, for interval of a input of a transformer secondary 0 to pi, this diode is a closed switch, or it will be a diode is a forward bias. So as it is a diode is a forward bias, this will be behave as a closed switch. But whereas this diode will be a reverse bias, so it will behave as a open switch. So for this case, this diode will be removed. So for this diode D2, how much voltage is appear at this point, which is applied by the transformer secondary, which is minus Vm. Yes, this is for the half cycle. Now let's see if we consider that another during the negative half cycle. During the negative half cycle, what will be this terminal? This terminal will be a positive. This terminal positive. This terminal will be negative. This terminal is also positive. Sorry, negative. And this terminal is a positive. Upper half of a transformer. So due to that, this diode is a reverse bias. And this diode is now forward bias. So for this situation, this diode is a turn on. And this diode is a turn off. So it will behave as a open switch. Now for this situation, how much voltage is available at the diode D1 and how much voltage is available at the diode D2? So for diode D2, if we consider diode is ideal, it's a 0. And if we consider diode is for a D1, the voltage is here, it is the voltage applied by transformer secondary of a half of a transformer secondary. So what is a half of a transformer secondary? It's this one is our this one is our input waveform. You want to try? So what's this is a cycle we are considering. So how much voltage is available at this point is nothing but this minus Vm value. Okay, so this is you will have the minus Vm. So means again you will have due to the positive half cycle, during the positive half cycle minus Vm, and during the negative half cycle of a input of a transformer secondary again a minus Vm. So what is the voltage is available during the entire cycle for a 0 to 2 pi. So for this is for a 0 to pi. Yes, and this is for a pi to 2 pi. So finally we will have the total peak inverse voltage is a minus 2 times Vm. Okay, 2 times Vm. So means finally we will have the maximum inverse voltage available during the either during the positive half cycle or negative half cycle of a one cycle is a minus 2 Vm, and the peak inverse voltage, it's a inverse voltage, so inverse is represented by minus, so it's represented as a positive. Okay guys, so I stop the anomics. Okay, so we'll come back to the again now. So you will have the for full wave rectifier, the peak inverse voltage, the maximum inverse indicates negative, so it's a peak inverse voltage is a 2 Vm. So you will have the what will be voltage signal will be available. Yes, what is the waveform associated with the diode D1 and D2? So the waveforms associated with the diode D1 and D2 during the positive half cycle as well as a negative half cycle. Yes, so during the positive half cycle we know that diode D1 is off, sorry, diode D1 is on and D2 is off. So the voltage waveform across diode D1 will be this. Okay, again for the next half cycle, again this one. So again this one. So you will have, these are the waveforms associated with this one. So this is a waveform across load, or sorry, across D1. It's sorry, across D2. Now what about the D1? For the D1, so what will be waveform? During the positive half cycle, D1 is a conducting and D2 is a non-conducting. During the negative half cycle of a transformer secondary, yes, D1 is a reverse bias, it's non-conducting, and D2 is a forward bias, it's a conducting. So for that case, the waveform will be like this way, is appear, then again it's not appear. So this is a waveform at diode D1. So this is a, you will have voltage across a D1 diode. Yes, so for entire cycle, if you consider this entire one cycle, yes, so you will have, it will be a 2 Vm. So means for this, you will have the maximum peak inverse voltage is a 2 Vm. Now, what will be a ripple frequency of a this circuit? Now, what is the input period? Input period will be starts from here and end at here. Yes, which is a 0 to pi. And the output is available for successive half cycles. So what is the period of the output? It's only up to this one. Yes. Okay. So let's see, if we consider the period of this one is a TL input. And if we consider the period of a ripple, let's say TR. Now if you observe that during the one cycle of a input, half cycle is available. So these two periods can be related to, yes, so we will have a TR can be given as, yes guys, line period, half of the line period, half of the line period. Yes, so half of the line period. So if we convert this one expression as in terms of a frequency, TR will be replaced by 1 upon TF and the TL will replaced by 1 upon FL. So finally, if you slightly rearrange this one in terms of frequency, you have the FR, ripple frequency of output, is equal to 2 times of a F line. So if we consider that this line frequency in the our India, the line frequency is 50 Hertz. Yes. In the Asian country, it will be a 60 Hertz guys. So for the full wave rectifier, the ripple frequency is, for the Asian countries, it's 100 Hertz. Okay. So means finally we can say for a full wave rectifier, the ripple frequency is twice of the line frequency. This was not same as with the half wave rectifier. For half wave rectifier, it was 50%. Okay guys. Next we continue with the ripple frequency. So the ripple frequency 2f. Now we have discussed about the half wave rectifier, full wave rectifier. Now what are the disadvantage of a full wave rectifier? Advantage of a full wave rectifier, we have discussed that there is an improvement in a ripple factor, which is a 0.48. there is no improvement considering the voltage regulation, improvement considering the transformer utilization and the efficiency. Yes, as well as the DC saturation of a half wave rectifier is resolved in a full wave rectifier since we are using a center tap transformer. But as we are using here a center tap transformer, is there any problem associated with this one? So let's see if we consider that here. Okay, so we consider that now again. Now here, okay, now this is, I will draw it now, the center tap transformer. Okay, this is our center tap transformer. Yes, this is our city. Now this is our city point. Now while the manufacturing, the city point is not exactly at the center of the winding. As since it is manufacturing is done by the human being, there will be error. So means if this city point is not exactly at the center of the winding, then the turn ratio of a primary, here turn ratio of a upper half of a secondary and the lower half of a secondary, it's a may or may not be the same. So therefore, the voltage drop at this point may or may not be same with upper half and the lower half. So this is the first problem arises with the center tap transformer. So the first is that it is difficult to locate the center tap on a secondary winding. And it's once that problem is arise, it may be we expect that here both the half of a section, if I am using 0 to 6 volt transformer, 0-6 transformer, then we expect that here RMS value should be 6 volt upper and the 6 volt lower. But here we get that it may be a 5.9 for a upper and the 6.1 for a lower, because the CT point is not exactly at the center. If it is not exactly at the center, the turn ratio will slightly disturbed. They are not same for upper half as well as the lower half. So definitely there will be a VM is a, sorry, transformer secondary rating is slightly changed. Okay, next thing is that as a peak inverse voltage for the half full wave rectifier is a 2 Vm. So means while the selecting a diode, we require the more rated diodes are there, but with respect to the half wave rectifier. So we require the diode does not used must be have, yes, must be have a high peak inverse voltage. So these are the problems associated with this one. So if you go for the half wave rectifier, we have the DC saturation problem. To solve the DC saturation problem, we have went for the full wave rectifier. If we use the full wave rectifier, yes, again there is a difficulty is that it is difficult to locate the center tap point. If it is difficult to locate, then upper half of a transformer secondary and the lower half of a transformer secondary voltages may or may not be the same. This is the problem. Now how to overcome this problem? Yes, and for that purpose, we need to go for the bridge wave rectifiers. Before going for a bridge wave rectifiers, we have to solve the numericals based on this one. So guys, you have to take it pen, paper, and you have to write this one expression. First numerical. The first numerical is given as for a half wave rectifier, the turn ratio of a transformer between primary and half secondary is 2 as 1. Yes, assume transformer secondary resistance and the forward resistance as a 1 ohm, sorry, 15 ohm, and Yes. Calculate average load current. Yes. Average load voltage at no load, average load voltage at the full load, and the voltage regulation rectification cases. So guys, here turn ratio is provided you to the primary to the upper half of a secondary. So we know that the relation between primary and the primary voltage to the primary turn ratio. So both are the directly proportional. So we have the transformer secondary voltage is directly proportional to the transformer secondary turn ratio, and the transformer primary voltage is directly proportional to the transformer primary turn ratio. So therefore this expression can be written. So here this expression, the primary voltage, so secondary RMS you will have NS divided by NP into PRMS. So if we solve this one, we have the PRMS, the primary of RMS. They have not provided you, so we consider that the RMS AC voltage is from electricity is a 230 volt. For a calculation point of view, okay, we have considered that one as a 240. So if you plug the 240 here, so we will have the value will be 60. So the VS RMS value of a secondary voltage is a 60. So 60 into root 2. Yes, it's a 60 into root 2, and this NS divided by NP is given as 2 by 1. Yes, sorry, 1 by 2. So you will have to simply plug this, so you will have this value will be this one. Okay. Now we want to find out the average load current first. What is the average load current for a full wave rectifier? Guys, it's a full wave rectifier. It's not a half wave. Full wave rectifier. What is the average load current? It's a IDC. Sorry, IDC is equal to IM to IM divided by pi. Now, can you find the IM? Can you find the IM? So IM is what? VM divided by resistance offered by load and the internal resistance. So if you simply plug these values, yes, you will have the IDC. Now what is the VDC? Can you find VDC at a no load condition and the full load condition? Yes. Please reply, any one of you. Can you find average load current, load voltage at a no load? What is the expression that one? Yes, for full wave rectifier. Yes, guys. What will that? It's a yes no load voltage. VNL is equal to 2 Vm divided by pi. Vm already we have found. So you will have this one. Yes, VDC. Here it is a yes. Now what is the IDC? IDC is given as a IDC is given as a 2 Im divided by pi. Yes. What is the VDC at no load voltage? Is a again a 2 Vm divided by pi. Yes. Are you have the Vm? Yes, this one. Now, can you find the Im? What is Im? Im is given as, yes guys, it's a Vm divided by Rs plus Rf plus RL. Yes. So can you have the Im? So what will be Im value? So the Im value we will have it to the, yes guys, you have to plug it simply this one Im here. So you will have the Vm divided by Rs plus Rf plus RL. Yes. So we have that here. Okay. So simply plug this one and find out these values. So you will have the IDC. What about the VDC at no load? This expression already we have found out. Now next question is that what is the average load voltage at the full load? What is the full load? VFL. Yes, which is nothing but a VDC. Sorry guys, entirely it's vanished. Okay, we will draw it again. Okay. Yeah, VFL. We want to find out. What is the VFL? VFL is nothing but a when load is connected. VDC. Yes. Now can you find the VDC for this case? Yes. So guys, here RL is given as a 100 ohm. Yes. So you will have this will be a can be written as a IDC into RL. Here RL is given as a guys 100 ohm. It's a 100 ohm. Okay. So simply you will have. Now VDC is nothing but IDC and RL when the load is connected. No load voltage you have found out it's a 2 Vm divided by pi. Yes. Now can you find the voltage regulation for this case? What is voltage regulation? V no load yes. What is the voltage regulation? Voltage regulation is given as a V no load voltage minus full load voltage divided by full load voltage. And these two parameters already you have found out here. And from that one you have to find out the voltage regulation. Now what is the next? Next is the rectification. Yes, PDC divided by PAC. So you will have the PDC is nothing but IDC square into RL. Yes, and the PAC nothing but VRMS divided by RDC. Or this expression can be written as in terms of yes guys, or RL and RF 8 divided by pi square yes into RL divided by yes RS plus RF plus RL. So you have the RL 100 ohm, RS plus RF as a 15 ohm, RL is 100 ohm. So simply you have to find out. So this will be a 70.48%. Now similarly, we will go for the one more problem. Okay. Now here. Now guys, you have to try it at your end. A 40 volt RMS. So RMS voltage is given, guys. Transformer is used with a full wave rectifier, which with each diode having an internal resistance of a 1 ohm. If the load resistance is a 19 ohm, find 1 DC load current, DC load power, rectification efficiency, ripple factor, percentage load regulation, peak inverse voltage, transformer utilization factor of a secondary and the TVR. Now what is a IDC for a full wave rectifier? It's a 2 Im divided by pi. Yes. So Im is required in this expression. So can I get the Im? Yes. Here they have given that the transformer secondary is provided. What is the transformer secondary is provided? 40 RMS. So they have provided RMS as a 4. Now what is the relation between RMS and the peak? RMS is nothing but a root 2 times of a peak. Okay. RMS is nothing but a, peak is nothing but a root 2 times of a RMS value. So RMS value is a 40. So you will have this is a Vm. Now from this Vm, can you find the Im? Yes. Im is nothing but a Vm divided by Rs plus Rf plus RL. So the internal resistance of a 1 ohm and the load resistance is 19. So means this 1 ohm is nothing but Rs plus Rf and the RL is a 19. So it's a 20. 19 plus 1, 20. So you will have Vm, you will have the Im is equal to, yes guys, Im is equal to Vm divided by Rs plus Rf plus RL. So if we plug that values, so you will have the IDC. Now can you find the IDC power? What is IDC power? IDC power is given as a I square DC into RL. I square IDC already we have found in the previous. So take a square of a root and take it the load is 19. You will have PDC is a 61.56. Next, now efficiency. What is the efficiency? Efficiency is given as a PDC divided by PAC. PDC already we have found in problem 2. Now we want to find out a PAC. Yes. So what is a PAC? PAC nothing but a V RMS or you will have it will be or you can use the rectification efficiency expression 8 divided by pi square into RL divided by RS plus RF plus RL. Simply use that. What is the ripple factor for this case? Ripple factor for this case is given as what? You have to try it. Voltage regulation, you have to try it. So in the notes, this is a readily solved problem. So guys, you have to try it at your end. Okay, the last problem. Now, full wave rectifier uses a diode with a forward resistance of 1 ohm. The transformer secondary resistance is center tap with output 10 volt RMS has a resistance of 5 ohm for each half section. Find the no load voltage regulation. DC voltage for DC current of 100 milliampere and DC. And voltage regulation. What is voltage regulation? No load minus full load divided by full load. So can you find the no load voltage? First equation, first problem. The full load voltage is second. So the no load voltage is given as 2 Im divided 2 Vm divided by 5. and full load voltage is given as a 2 Vm divided by pi into RL divided by Rs plus RL. So this one you will have full load voltage. Now can you find, yes, voltage regulation? Yeah, you can find this one. So these are the answers, guys. You have to try yourself. Okay. So guys, next time we will start the bridge wave rectifier. What are the problems associated with a full wave rectifier? How to overcome that? We will take a discussion on a bridge wave rectifier. So I conclude that here the full wave rectifier, their working operation, their analysis, and the numericals are covered. Based on that one, you have to attempt a theory questions and the numericals based on that. So I request all of you, you have to send me your attendance on our WhatsApp group. And if you are not attended the lectures, don't send your attendance on WhatsApp group. So I request all the students, you have to leave the lecture room